So I reiterate here, the bill is dead.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, Mo.
Tayo
Happy New Year, Garron.
Happy New Year, guys.
This is Ho Ho Hong Kong. I am Andy Curtin, and wow, we fucking got we're almost through.
2020. Yeah.
Holy
Let's
crap!
see.
You know, like you're about to get all those memes that's like, oh yeah, we got through 2020, and then in 2021's like, hey, vampire crocodiles are eating babies
Do
now.
you remember, like, I think it was 2018, where like a handful of famous people died in like December.
Yeah.
So
Everyone's like, this is the worst year ever. I was like, it was pretty great. In fact, you don't even care about these famous people that much.
So
you know.
Cassie was actually watching like some old Samantha Bee clips last night. And it was like just, on YouTube recommendations. And it popped up a 2018 episode where they made an entire episode like that became this musical about how great it is that 2018 is now over.
Oh my
Right,
God.
it was 2018, right?
I was like, wow.
I just
okay.
remember online people being like, finally, the horrible year is over. It's
I
like,
posted a meme. Our most two famous football players are twins from like 20 years ago, and I posted a meme of picture of them that says 2020, 2021.
it's great.
And I remember that year specifically. It's like, yeah, it's all these beloved celebrities who are also very old already.
Yeah.
I was surprised they were still alive in that year.
I love how this episode is open with just three of us talking like we're in the middle of the episode. No idea. No one has any idea who this
Oh,
is.
hey, I'm Garron.
We
by the
didn't
way,
introduce
guys.
anybody. You didn't even say your own name.
It's in the description of the podcast. If they listen to the podcast, they know that I am Andy Curtin.
All right, Joe Rogan.
Who the fuck are you?
All right,
I
let's
am Muhammad Magdi,
do
Ad-
2 hours of
Muhammad.
ad breaks. And
No, this is good. But on that point, if you are enjoying the podcast, please hit subscribe. And we've got a Patreon now.
Yeah.
Go to patreon.com, HoHoPod. We have some sick episodes.
Oh,
up
yeah.
there. We did Background of the Riff. We did The Reason We Hired Nuri. We did a really
We
good
didn't hire Nori. We interviewed him.
after the interview, it was so
paid
good. He's the new host of Hong Kong.
You know what?
That would get us some
I'm
followers.
just surviving this festive season, all right? My brain is not working properly.
Yeah, and you had 2 glasses of wine and it still can't function.
Yeah, that's me.
I had a
but-
thing pop up on my credit card, and I was like, wait, I'm paying for the Ho Ho Hong Kong Patreon? And the guy was like, oh, I signed up for something. I'm like, all right.
That's so funny. I'm glad we hired you.
Yeah.
Massive thanks to everyone that's supporting the Patreon. It's a really big deal for us. So basically, when we get to 100 subscribers, we're going to upgrade our equipment to the M7 Shure mics. It's the same as Joe Rogan uses. A lot of the top podcasters use it because we want to make the best show possible, and you can help us make that happen. And also, the podcast is a huge part of what we're doing to try and build the live shows that we're doing, and we love doing the podcast, and it allows us to fund what we're doing so that we can sustainably grow it and keep doing it. So it's awesome if you can help us do that. Massive thank you to everyone that's on there right now, including Garron, who's here. Also, I want to do a shout out to my bear.
Your bear?
My buddy Bear, Zane Duncan. He's been listening to the podcast. He sent me a message. It was really nice. So I wanted to do a shout out. He's one of my oldest friends. So I was a little
Nice.
kid. So he's you know Bear.
Yeah.
Andy's friends got introduced before me. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
true.
you still didn't get a proper intro.
We said Garron. Come on.
Yeah, dude. Again, no one knows who he is.
Comedian Garron. Just they do. He's like semi-famous, right?
Yeah.
Comedian
Yeah,
Garron Chiu.
semi-famous people shouldn't get introductions on podcasts.
You know
they're
what?
guests on.
You're a guest who needs no introduction.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Thank
Okay. All right, where do we find you on social media, Garron?
At I am Garron on everything.
There you go.
I'm at Andy Curtin on everything.
I'm at the other Muhammad on everything.
And before we get into what we're going to talk about today, so the Sun Yang saga. Do you know anything about Sun Yang saga?
I couldn't tell you if Sun Young was a real person or not.
So he's the most famous professional athlete behind like Yao Ming in China. It's
Okay.
him and Yao Ming.
Well, he got caught doping before, right? And he was
Yeah,
like crying
okay, I
and
remember
this whole
this.
thing.
So
Because he's like this generation's whatever that hurdler guy was.
there was a hurdler guy that was famous.
It was a Chinese guy who won the 110 hurdling gold, which is like what Chinese never win like running anything.
Yeah.
This would have been like 2008 or 2004.
Except for running a campaign of.
Organ harvesting.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for making me say it.
Yeah, I don't want to lose my visa. Anyway, so the whole thing about him was that he got caught for like a minor doping offense, and they like hush, banned him on the sly, and then after the fact announced that he'd had a violation, and then he had some doping control people come to his house. He gave them a blood test. He claims they didn't show sufficient identification. He smashed the vial with the blood in it, which is clearly a violation of the rules.
Yeah.
The Federation of Swimming was like, oh, yeah, he did the wrong thing, but they just gave him a warning because they're all funded by... They get so much funding from China. Then the World Anti-Doping Authority got him banned for life. Or banned for 8 years. So he's basically out.
Yeah.
So it's just gone to the Supreme Court in Switzerland, and it was overturned because they found a tweet from the head of the Court
WADA?
of Arbitration of Sport who'd said something racist about Chinese people on his Twitter feed. And they're like, where he couldn't have given impartial judgment, so the whole thing's overturned.
Damn.
Yeah, but here's the thing that's really stupid about it. That court can't assess if they made the right decision or not. They can only assess procedural questions.
Right.
So all it means is he's just going to go back to the Court of Arbitration of Sport. And there's no fucking way they're letting him get through there again.
Yeah. They're like, we're going to get someone with no anti-Chinese tweet. Wait, nobody has no anti-Chinese
That's
tweets.
what I was
Great.
going to say. I was like, we just need to find one European who's not racist against the Chinese. I guess he's going to swim again. He's officially unbanned right now. But
Okay.
I
Nice.
think it's just like...
I mean, by the time of the Olympics, it's probably going to be overturned again, right?
Well, you assume there's still going to be an Olympics.
Yeah.
Well, there's scheduled for... They canceled most of their events, I think, already.
Well, so it's now
No,
delayed
they're holding it.
2021.
Yeah,
because it's meant to be this
2021.
year.
No. The 2021, they've started refunding like 50% of the tickets.
Really?
Some
Yeah.
massive number of the tickets for 2021 are being refunded.
And because I work in advertising, all the big Japanese advertising firms, like, all their money was based on doing ads for the Olympics in
of
2020.
course,
So
yeah.
like, they're bleeding. They're
Oh
bleeding.
man, I can't even imagine the expense
Yeah.
that goes into all of that.
Well, WADA, also the same organization, just upheld banning Russia for like a whole tour of like all the major sports.
have you seen Icarus?
Yeah.
I
it's
have,
great.
yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's why they banned it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if we need a version of that for comedy.
It's cheating.
Yeah, people shouldn't do coke before they go on stage.
Well,
Is that cheating?
is that
It is.
cheating? Is it?
I don't think it's cheating.
Is it like?
They compact
never
so
look
wait, they compact so many words in one sentence. That's cheating.
Yeah,
You speak too
imagine
fast.
Mo on coke on stage. How fast that would be.
Hello, I am from Egypt.
Yeah, it
No,
suddenly
dude,
slowed
that's
him
like
down.
that's me on weed, not on coke.
No, I don't know. I don't know if coke's like performance enhancing, except for like the Robin Williams Broadway special.
Yeah.
That was like nobody finishes 12 bottles of water in an hour. That was too many bottles of water.
But he's like the exception to the rule,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I don't feel like any of that is performance enhancing. If there was anything performance enhancing, I would have taken it by now. I'm certainly not aware of it.
Putting notes on stage, that's another one. We just watched that. Yeah.
But
Hate
that's a
that.
crutch. That's not
hate that.
cheating.
No, like that guy. What is his name? The Aussie
Reese
guy.
Nicholson.
Reese
Yeah,
Nicholson.
like
Great
it's on
special,
his
but those
Netflix.
notes
it's
are
good,
it's
good special.
distracting.
But you can see, like, because we do this on showcases when you sometimes put a note and you drink a sip of water and you see the notes. He has been doing that like very visibly on set when it's a Netflix special,
And
and
the
it just
weir-
like takes away from.
And at a weird point, so we were talking about it. I was watching it with Mo, and at one point they cut to a overhead camera,
Oh,
so you
yeah.
could just see like the bird's eye view of the entire notes. I'm like,
It's not
wait,
really a
that's
crutch. Like he actually had it on stage.
We're
and
like,
he's looking at his
why
notes.
did
you know
they
what a
even put
crutch
that on
is?
camera?
Yeah, I mean, like it's not like a prop or something. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
not what a crutch is.
Yeah, yeah.
bro.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like tape it on the floor. At least not make it visible to camera.
Yeah, tape it on
you
the
know?
floor. Put monitors up. Like people do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I watched the first 15 minutes of it, and I'd forgotten you guys had said that, and I didn't catch it, but I need to go back and watch. I guess it's more obvious later in it.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Why?
I think comics also
Why?
notice it. Like
No.
I think regular people wouldn't even notice it.
So you're saying I'm not a comic? Is that what
exactly. That's exactly what I was saying.
idiots can't see it. Funny people.
Civilians, yeah, civilians can see it.
People who've never written a joke in their life, they wouldn't spot that. That'd just be a mystery to them.
Yeah, oh, just glass of water.
So the real reason we're doing this podcast today is to talk about Christmas and New Year's in Hong Kong. So, like, Christmas, pretty big holiday here, actually.
Yeah. I feel like Christmas is the only thing keeping our malls alive right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got kids. Have you gone through like all the landmark, the Pacific Place, the IFC, the ICC to see every
Not so
fucking
much.
Christmas tree display in Hong Kong?
I know they're there. I remember doing it last year more.
Yeah.
This year, I don't know. We just didn't do it that much. We go to City Plaza. That's how like.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's like go see the trees. I feel like the trees are going to be done a little less after one of the trees was set on. What was the?
Yeah, I was about to mention that.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
how
festival
cool
walk
was that?
tree was set on fire last year. During
How
the,
cool was that
protests.
picture? The
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was here last year. You must remember that.
Yeah,
Vaguely, what
Yeah.
happened?
Some people threw something that set a giant tree on fire. And the thing about the tree, like obviously in a mall as big as Festival Walk and a tree that big, that tree is not a real tree. It's
Yeah.
like made of like plastic and
Oh,
tubes.
God.
So
Yeah.
it was just like fumes going through the mall.
Oh, I was about to say that the guy running the mall was like, "Hey, who knew that trees were flammable?"
Yeah. But I mean, Christmas, obviously, it's a big shopping holiday. People
I mean,
in Hong
honestly, if
Kong-
it happened this year, that would have made more sense. It's just a perfect representation of 2020. Christmas tree
Yeah.
tree on fire.
No, the perfect representation, a Christmas tree that's not a tree,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
is destroying the environment because it's
My-
not a tree.
Yeah.
My favorite thing- I went to Pacific Place with my parents because they live near that mall, and it's such a weird thing of like there's security guards patrolling to make sure people are wearing their masks in the mall, and people would run up to these like massive Christmas displays and just like look around. Is anybody looking? All right, now we can take off the mask to take our photo. All right, okay, put it back on. Let's go.
Dude, because we take kids to stuff like that all the time, and it's
Yeah.
there's always a security guard there who has to like walk back and forth, and as they walk one way, everyone's like, "Quick, take it off, take a photo."
Yeah. Just to I
Yeah.
mean, like it's so weird that like one, this is somehow the thing we're trying to get away with, but two, totally makes sense that in Hong Kong people are like, okay, what are we going to break the crime? What are we going to commit a crime for? A selfie. Let's go.
What are you in for? I killed
Yeah.
a man. I took a selfie in Pacific Place.
Yeah.
In front of a burning Christmas tree.
I always do feel though, like, because obviously we do the lights. If you go to the harbor, you see all the Christmas lights and all the major
Yeah.
buildings, and they're always better 2 months later when they become Chinese New Year lights. And I always felt like Christmas was done to show that Chinese New Year is going to be better.
That's
Like
hilarious.
no,
That's
because
great.
you can actually see some of the lights that were designed. Like there was one year I forgot this.
Isn't
big,
it called Winterfest or something? Or
No, they don't mind calling it Christmas. It's not like
No. I mean that area. I remember seeing.
at Litong Avenue, yeah, they have one. But like one of the major buildings in Wanchai, they do this thing of like, you kind of see the Santa Claus lights, but if you look carefully, you're like, oh, that's about to be a rabbit in 2 months. You just change the color configurations,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
going to become
Yeah,
the
why does Santa
animal
have
of the year.
such big ears this year?
Like they're like, we don't want to have to go up and do that again.
Do you not understand how hard this is?
Yeah.
But so in mainland China, when we lived there, Christmas was just like malls.
Expats.
That was but well, we're saying
Yeah.
the same thing. No, it was like an advertising opportunity.
Right, yeah.
But do you get like, is that when all the discounts are there too? It's like, because Hong Kong Christmas discounts is a big
It's coming
thing.
off 11/11, and then they do 12/12 as well. So there is already two seasons of like shopping and discount.
I'm not really a big shopper, but the predominant thing that I notice is that people are using it to put snowflakes in the windows and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I don't think people are celebrating at home at
No.
all. Like,
No, that's what I was saying.
Don't they
Expats
say it's
wear.
like they call it like it's another Valentine's Day.
That's right.
Like
yeah.
it's just an excuse for couples to go out and have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
dinner just with the couple.
Do you guys
Yeah.
do the mall music in China?
I think
what do you mean
maybe
mall
what is
music?
that one that was
because right at the beginning, actually in Hong Kong, it was getting weird because it started happening in November. That like all the malls were already playing Mariah Carey.
Oh my god!
yeah.
My-
Like every
that's
single
been
one.
on repeat in my house since the end of November.
And I don't
Dude,
know if
I
this-
just read that she still gets millions of royalty
Oh,
from that song
of
every
course.
single year.
Of course. Actually, Cassie
Imagine
and I,
having the one bit that you put like years ago and people just keep playing it and you keep making money
Cassie and I were looking
I
this up.
imagine making money.
off your comedy. Yeah, good luck.
Cassie, I looked this up yesterday because it was part of like a Jeopardy question. We were just like, watching some TV. That song, "All I Want for Christmas Is You," is the biggest chart mover in history because every year it's not even in the top 100, and then suddenly it's number 1 for like 40 days, and then it's out of the top 100 again.
That's so
Crazy.
weird.
every
Yeah.
year. And
I
like,
would like to see the Spotify numbers on that, like how many plays and how much money she makes just off Spotify.
I'd rather
I
not
mean,
know.
have you guys been to like a Welcome recently or like a 7-Eleven? They've got
No.
the Christmas version of YUU now.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Like, yeah, so like the music's big in the malls. It's definitely a season. It's definitely a season.
But the difference is that so it's 16 to 20% of Hong Kongers are Christian.
Yeah.
So it's that's where it's like vastly different from the mainland. I mean, there are
Yeah.
Christians over there, but they've been crushed into the ground. Whatever
Yeah.
small minority they are. So people celebrate. You celebrate Christmas with your family, right?
Yeah.
And do most people do that or?
Most people do that in Hong Kong, also because like Hong Kong's huge college educated city. A lot of people go to college abroad.
Right.
So Christmas is simply the time when like people are back. So it's like all your friends from
Not this year.
well, not this year, yeah, especially if you're from the UK. But it's like it's a time
now
when
they're
like
back into government
yeah,
quarantine.
back into government quarantine. But it's usually when you're like you get to see family again because Chinese New Year in Hong Kong is becoming less and less of a everybody comes to Hong Kong holiday. It's more the
Traveling.
everybody's getting out of Hong
Yeah,
Kong
yeah.
while the other tourists are coming in.
Interesting.
So Christmas
Is
and
it because the
beginning of
mainland
summer-
people are coming here, so Hong Kong people want to get out?
No, but it's just because like that's when, if you're living in the U.S. or if you're living in the U.K. or if you're living in Australia, you don't get Chinese New Year off,
Right. Yeah. I see.
but you get Christmas off, so you get to go home.
sure.
So that's like the big, like you see the most expensive flights to Hong Kong every year. It's December and June because that's when people are either flying back to Hong Kong for the holidays or flying back to Hong Kong because they just finished the university year.
Yeah.
So like Christmas is, and so you have an excuse to buy presents in Hong Kong. People love an excuse to buy things, and plus like also Hong Kong has a big special menu thing. Like even
Oh, yeah.
Thanksgiving now, all the restaurants like Thanksgiving sets, and then they'll do the Christmas dinners. It's like the only time of year where anybody in Hong Kong even knows that turkey exists. They're like, oh yeah, turkey, that's a thing.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm kind of a sucker for that stuff. I got to tell you.
Me too.
Yeah.
and then
the
I'm always
festivities are
like,
nice.
turkey's fine. You're like, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's like this. Any other time you'd be like, "Oh, that's on the menu. Why would I order
Yeah,
that?"
why would
Yeah.
turkey? Weird.
Unless you order like a turkey sandwich because you're bored of every other food, but like you wouldn't just order a
Yeah.
whole turkey.
Also,
for
it's
lunch.
just like turkey's just like fun to say in Chinese. Like it's fall guy, right?
Yeah.
It's fire chicken. Like,
It's a great name.
it's a great,
Porgy.
great name. Great name.
I always every year I'll go into Starbucks and be like, you know what? That the
spice
Oh, the
latte.
spiced
spicy
pumpkin, whatever.
latte looks pretty good. And then I remember I had one before a show recently. I'm about to go on, and I needed to vomit and have diarrhea exactly. the same time.
So it wasn't the performing enhancing drugs you were hoping for.
Turns out I should have stuck to the cocaine. You know what I mean?
Call back.
I definitely spoke very quickly so I could get to the bathroom as soon as I finished my set. But actually, you know what? I kind of was a little bit early today, and I nerded out and looked into the history of Christians in Hong Kong because it's super interesting. Because during the protests, people were singing "Hallelujah" to the Lord. Like
Yeah.
the Christians were like a huge part of the protests,
Yeah.
and 25% of Hong Kong's university students are Christian. Carrie Lam, chief executive, is a Catholic. When she got the role, she attributed it to divine intervention, saying that God called upon me.
Ha.
Isn't that weird?
I mean, that's already a bad sign. Like if she said that at the beginning of her post, no, seriously, because a lot of dictators say the same shit to appeal to their people. Like our president said exactly the same. He said not only that God appointed him, he said something along the lines of he's like a philosopher and he's like the
Also, Plato appointed me.
yeah. No, which is hilarious because he came with a military coup. So it's like the exact opposite of God appointed.
God
president.
appointed
God
me.
appointed the military. Come on, guys.
God
Come on.
appointed the tank that carried
You guys
me.
don't. It's like the Force. Like you guys don't understand how God works.
And mysterious ways.
Yeah. That in mysterious ways. They came in with guns.
Yeah.
It wasn't
I mean,
that-
It was not mysterious at all.
It does. There's a big Christian population here. Also, so many of the immigrant populations here are super Christian. Obviously,
Oh,
like
'cause the
Filipinos,
Filipinos
but even like
escaping,
a
yeah.
lot of the Koreans who come over are very Christian.
yeah, what's up with Korea? I gotta
Yeah.
look-
dude.
There's
Okay,
churches all over. Seoul.
Yeah.
where I grew up in Pasadena, which was like kind of a Christian suburb in LA. Now it's just all Koreans and all Korean churches.
Yeah.
Like,
Amazing.
they take Christianity very seriously, and I actually think it's one of the reasons like.
They take everything they do pretty
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. But like in the U.S., you have like a huge Korean population, not a huge Japanese population, and I think just like that's a Christianity thing.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, did you know that the St. John's Cathedral in Hong Kong was one of the first permanent structures, and it is still the only building in the whole city that is where they actually own the land.
Yeah.
Only
Ah.
building in the whole city. Every
Wow.
other piece of land in the city is owned by the government and leased out for varying amounts of
Yeah.
time.
It's also,
Except for the church.
Except that one church.
Why?
So, it was like one of the early buildings.
Oh, okay.
It
Yeah.
said it was one of the first. It was one of the first permanent structures.
Let's
made.
see when like 2047 comes and they're like,
"Give us the
we
church back."
Yeah, we own the building. Yeah, we own you and the building and the land.
They're looking at Jesus on the cross. They're like, "Wait, are those lights around it like a rabbit?" Like,
it'll be like a shopping mall. It's no, I mean, have you been?
I don't even know where it is. Where is it?
So it's I think that's the one on Cotton Tree Drive. It is fucking gorgeous. Actually, most
Dude, churches are pretty sick.
Not churches, just specifically Catholics. Like something about you're like, wow, stained glass is pretty.
Yeah, yeah, it
like,
is.
I don't know what it is. It's really nice. But if you go to like a Protestant church where they're intentionally like, let's not make things look nice, you're like, this is just
no,
a
Catholics aren't like that.
No.
They're like, we want you to look at the roof so you don't notice what we're doing.
The kids in the back.
It's like we have catacombs because we got shit to hide.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Was that a small boy? Did you notice the stained glass window?
it is beautiful when like
Yeah.
the sunlight's coming through the stained glass. It's so beautiful.
Have you been to the Vatican City, the cathedral there?
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
I have not.
There's two things in my life where I walked in and I was just like really blown away. It was that and the Angkor Wat temples.
Oh,
I was just
Angkor
like,
Wat was like-
how is this even made?
I
You know?
Yeah.
went to speaking of Christmas, I was just traveling around Europe, and me and my friends, we went to Notre Dame for Mass, and we went in
Pretty amazing.
pretty amazing, packed, and also everyone's just singing in Latin, and I was like, whoa! And that's
in
what
a French accent.
and that's also one of the things I realized, like Hong Kong treats Christmas like a shopping holiday, because like I forget that pretty much everywhere else in the world, especially if they're a majority Christian country,
Everything is
shit's
just
closed
shut.
on
Yeah.
Christmas. Nothing's
Oh,
closed here.
yeah, that's a
Every
good point.
restaurant's open. Every shopping mall. I remember after the Notre Dame Mass, we just tried to find things to eat, and every restaurant was closed except guess what the fuck was open?
McDonald's.
No. It was a fucking
Chinese
Chinese restaurant that sold barbecue pork. I'm like, wow. We went from Hong Kong all the way to France, and on Christmas,
Actually,
we're eating
I wanted to
chassu.
Dude, that kind of reminds me of when I was Valentine's Day. It's impossible to get a restaurant in Shanghai.
Yeah.
And I had a buddy just happen to be in town that night, and he's like, "Can we go for dinner?" I'm like, "We're not going to be able to go anywhere." I was like, "Where can we go on Valentine's Day that we'll get a table?" Hooters. Yeah. 3-hour wait to get a table at Hooters on Valentine's Day.
Well, you got to ask those girls out, right? You know?
I wanted to ask you, as an American, why do Jewish people order Chinese food on?
Because the same thing.
Hanukkah?
Chinese food's the only thing that's open.
That's it. But like, why the
Oh.
association with Jewish people?
Because
they're not
they're the
supposed
ones
to
not
celebrate
they're the ones
Christmas.
not having Christmas dinner at home.
Right. Okay. So they all go. Okay.
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
it
that's the
now.
only thing.
That
you
is a
can
good
order.
I
question.
hear that. Yeah, I hear that a lot of.
it
like-
was always like the stereotype, and turns out when I went to the States, pretty much true. It's you eat Chinese food on Christmas and you go to the movies because there's no lines. because everyone else is at home.
That's
and that's when you
Right,
get to like
okay.
go watch whatever.
I
movie you
definitely heard that Jewish Chinese restaurant thing before.
Yeah. I heard it on like jokes and TV shows and stuff, but I didn't know why.
want. Yeah,
It makes
It's,
sense.
Christmas.
Because Chinese people don't give a fuck about Christmas. They're like,
No.
oh yeah, we're gonna open.
No, but also like,
good
yeah,
time
we're
to
gonna
do
make money.
business.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good time to do business.
Take
It's kind of like same like Ronnie Chang has a great bit on his special about that. He goes like, make us like elect us because we will work while you're on holiday. It's so good. He's like, we don't give a fuck about Christmas.
It is
It's actually exactly the topic we're talking about. We don't give a fuck. Elect us.
I mean, I remember when I was like first went to the States for college, people would always talk about a 9 to 5. I'm like, what's a 9 to 5?
Yeah.
You know, like I remember when I was like first time I was performing.
You mean a 5 to 9, right?
Like first time I was performing shows in New York. I got like the B spot at Gotham Comedy Club, which is like the early show. It's like 6:30 show. I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm performing at 6:30 show, and they're like, we'll all be there. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, man, we get off work at 5. I'm like, you have time to go to a show at 6:30? What kind of country is this?
So crazy, yeah. Dude, that reminds me of, I think is it Gary Goldman who has that joke where he's like, you know what the worst part about a 9 to 5 is? The 9. He's like, 3 to 5? Now you're talking.
Sorry, his other bit popped in my head. It's like, you know what people don't tell you about living? It's every day.
Is that the Great Depression?
Yeah.
That is such a good special. Another crazy thing I found. So like there used to be like a small window every year where people could go into southern China and like do missionary work. And all the Protestants used to go to Macau. Used to be on Macau because it was like Portuguese run.
Yeah.
And then when Hong Kong was taken over by the British, all the Catholics were able to find a place to be here because even though they have the Church of England, they were like open to the Catholics. Yeah. And so this guy, Karl Gutzlaff, who was a German Lutheran, he moved to Macau in the 1830s. He spoke Chinese and he used to help British businesses smuggle opium into China in the hope that he could get more converts by doing that.
Nice.
Sounds
Anyway,
like Christianity.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So he started up a school in Hong Kong training Chinese missionaries that could operate unimpeded in the mainland. Anyway, so he is the guy who produced the Chinese translation of the Bible, which changed Chinese history. His translation found its way into a Hakka peasant named Hong Xiu Tran, who convinced himself he was the brother of Jesus Christ. He started.
And he's Chinese.
Yeah. Which I love that.
I love
brother.
That was my bit where I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if Jesus is brown or what. It is definitely not Chinese.
Exactly.
I was like, can you imagine a Chinese Jesus?
Yeah.
He would still be at the Last Supper today trying to pay the bill. Anyway, so thank you for setting that joke up.
Yeah.
So this guy started his own version of Christianity, had millions of followers. They started their own pseudo-Christian state called the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom, which occupied much of the lower Yangtze Valley, around 1,200 kilometers north of Hong Kong. The rebel state existed for 14 years before the Qing dynasty wiped it out in the fourth deadliest war in history, killing up to 100 million people.
Number 3 is the Hong Kong protest.
Interesting fact here. 7 of the top 9 deadliest wars in the world were in China.
Oh, I thought you were to say we're over Christianity.
Yeah. I don't know.
Probably.
They
Not
definitely
in
played
China,
it.
but
I mean, that's like you
I
gotta
don't know,
adjust.
also-
You gotta adjust per capita.
when you said he had millions of followers, I don't know if it's my own joke or I heard that somewhere else. When like people talk about like, oh, it's so impressive you have 50 million followers on Twitter. Remember back in the day, people had to physically follow you. That's way more impressive. I honestly thought of it, but I don't know if it's.
I thought you were about to say
mine.
like it's China, like 1 million followers, a drop in the bucket. You know?
But like people had to physically follow you back in the day everywhere.
I'd heard about that Taiping rebellion because it is like this huge 100 million people died.
Yeah.
But I never knew what it was about. Yeah, it came from some dude who thought he was the brother of Jesus Christ. He's like, Jesus Christ is like, really old, right?
Was the brother also a virgin birth? I want to, delve longer into this.
Yeah, same mom,
his
same
version.
dad.
Same
Yeah.
mom, same dad. Also God,
it's more
was
like-
Joseph like, I'm not falling for that shit twice.
It's more like Alessio and Matt McGill.
Yeah. Who look
Different last
nothing
names
alike.
and look nothing alike. Anyway, so another one, Sun Yat-sen. He was also Christian. He's a revolutionary leader who overthrew the Qing Chinese dynasty, the last one. And then the reason there are so many, 50% of China's primary schools and secondary schools are Christian.
Yeah.
So like in the 60s when they had the riots,
Yeah.
one of the things the government did was they introduced compulsory education, but they didn't want to pay for it. So they just set up like a couple of government schools, but then they gave subsidies and the churches were like, we're in.
Yeah.
And the churches taking all the school subsidies are the ones that the reason that so
And
many
it's still running until today.
That's actually one of the weird things that you get in Hong Kong, which even happens probably more than like some Christian cities, but there's a lot of caroling here. It's a
well,
lot
like
of caroling,
even the
a lot of
protest,
schools.
people were singing.
Yeah, well, those were the Christian groups, but there's like just a lot of every school has their Christmas caroling night. Every big club, so like the Hong Kong Club, the KCC, all the big country clubs.
That
all
gives
have
Why
a
do you
caroling
think that's
nights.
popular?
I mean, it's like karaoke for kids.
It's like, why would this be of interest to the? Oh, it's karaoke.
Yeah,
That would give a whole other new meaning to "We are bread."
Yeah.
It's like the body of Jesus.
When you say it's karaoke for kids, my brain was like, you mean it's karaoke without whores?
It's Baby Shark with Jesus. That's what it is.
Baby Jesus shark.
Baby Jesus, do, 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 do,
Dude,
baby
this should
Jesus,
be
do,
the
do,
title
do,
of the
do, do.
episode. Baby Jesus
Baby
shark.
Jesus shark. No one will click on it.
Just Baby Jesus, do, 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 and then
They did a Christian one.
oh,
Oh,
Dude,
of
I'm
course
not
they
joking.
did.
It goes baby shark ho 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 ho. It's not a joke. This is a real
Wait,
thing.
did you look up the Chinese one? I want to look it up right now.
The Chinese one. What?
Yeah, like Baby Shark, if there is one. Baby Shark Chinese.
I'm
and just
sure
see what's-
Chinese kids can just say the words Baby Shark. It's not a lot of words to say.
Yeah. That's it.
It is, by the way. You saw like now it's by far the most watched YouTube video of all time.
Yeah, but you know what I added to that though? So it's 7 billion most watched YouTube video.
Yeah.
But here's the difference is like if you look at the next 3 versions of Baby Shark, there's another 4 billion
yeah, I
views
know,
in
I know.
those.
It's ridiculous.
It's insane. Because there's actually like that's the thing is the Christmas one, there's a Halloween one. The Halloween one's got, 500 million views or something.
Baby Shark in
Oh,
Chinese, there is one.
That's what a lot of people were upset about. One of the first casualties of the pandemic. They were gonna
baby
do-
shark died.
Baby, his fins were used at a Chinese wedding.
Baby Shark fin soup.
That's why it's so popular.
They were. I mean, you must know this. You're a parent. I don't know if you see all those like the parenting event groups. I just know because I see on the ticket flap groups and stuff. They were gonna do Baby Shark live in Hong Kong.
We're just gonna play this for a few seconds.
That's too many words.
Shiny Baba?
No idea.
Dude, I'm getting PTSD just listening to this.
By the way, even this weird Mandarin version of Baby Shark has 13 million views.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, that's nothing for a
I
Baby
know,
Shark video.
I know.
That's like puts it at about the 80th.
But they were gonna do Baby Shark live, and I was like, wait, how many songs are there that you can do an hour and a half show? It's Baby Shark live.
Imagine the people who made Baby Shark trying to bust out a new bit, a new song, and everyone's like, no.
Play Baby Shark!
we
Like,
we
imagine
played
them-
it 6 times already. Not again.
I don't know if they do the same thing in Hong Kong, but like I used to work at the Boston Garden, which is as a bartender. They do live shows, and we once had a weekend of like Sesame Street Live, which is just parents bring their kids, and then they'd come to the bar and be like, "Give me a fucking drink." And they're like, "Ooh, no alcohol is allowed to be
That's
sold at this event."
so
And they get so mad. They're doing the encore where they're just saying "C is for cookie" for the 4th time. I'm like, sorry,
I need a shot.
there's a bar across the street.
That's hilarious.
Because I'm sure in Hong Kong, like knowing the kids parties we've gone to, like if parents had to go to Baby Shark Live, they'd get hammered. I feel like
Yeah,
that's the
no
only way
shit.
they'd survive.
Dude, I don't have kids and I would get hammered if I have to be at that show.
It would be weird if you were at that show without kids. Let's put it, like everyone who shows up to that show without kids,
Dude, I
gets
went-
put on a list.
I went to Ocean.
They then have to go to everyone in their neighborhood.
I'm pretty sure I'm on a list because on my birthday, I went to Ocean Park by myself because there's free ticket, but it was on a Wednesday, and it's just me and like everyone are just kids, and it's just me by myself.
He smiled at one shot and it was like, woo! All right, sir, please.
I thought you were about to say I was put on a list because of my birth and just ended it there.
Yeah. Because I was born.
I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah. I imagine, when a band has a hit and then they release their next album, they
Yeah.
just want to play their new stuff. And they're just like, play the class.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the caroling thing, though, this is. I'm glad it didn't happen this year, obviously, because of the pandemic. But for the last 5 years, however long it's been going on now, and it hit its peak like 3 years ago, there were just children's singing competitions, whether choirs or solos, and they just sing "Let It Go." And they do like mall performances where it's just like 2 hours of "Let It Go" renditions.
I vomited in my mouth.
And that used to be like Cassie's big moneymaker because she just like dresses up as
As
Princess
Elsa?
Elsa. Like,
my
yay,
God.
show up to every party.
And then she comes home and you're like, leave it on.
Those dresses are hard to get out. Anyway,
My daughter is 1 and you'll be like, should I put some music on? She's like, Baby Shark. Like, what if we Baby Shark? Do you think we could get a Baby Shark? All right, we'll put Baby Shark on again.
Well, your kids haven't seen Over the Moon yet, right?
No,
Because that's big in so Over the Moon. It's a lot of ex-Pixar guys. Netflix paid them. It's like, we want a Pixar style movie for Netflix, and they made a movie called Over the Moon, which is about Mid-Autumn Festival, and they just hired every Chinese actor available. Like,
Is it good?
It's very good. A lot of singing. It's a musical, and there's one song that every Chinese kid is now like singing and
Is it
dancing
new?
to. It's pretty new. It came out like maybe 2 months ago or a
Okay.
month and a half
By
ago.
the way, have you seen the trailer for Soul?
It's out today. I was
it-
told. Sorry. It's New Year's. It's out. It was out last week.
It was out a month ago.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's about jazz, right?
It's
the
Jamie
blues.
Foxx,
Yeah.
and he dies. He's a jazz musician, and he dies. And
Well, it's a Pixar movie, so an adult dies at the beginning.
it's
So
it's crazy though, like because it's a kids movie, and we're like, we can't watch this with kids. I mean, I have 3-year-old. He's like, I'm not going to explain to him what death is.
sorry, I don't think I've told you this story. I was watching Up.
Dude,
I
that's
went to the-
sad as
No.
Yeah,
So I
Up
went to
is
the
very
theaters. I was
sad.
watching Up. I was with my friends, and there was like a mom sitting in front of us with like maybe a 4 or 5-year-old child. And the first thing that happens is like, the beginning scene, the wife dies, and like everyone in the theater is sad, and this kid just goes, "Mommy, where did she go?" And it's like,
Everyone in the theater went, oh!
she went away, and we're like, "Oh, okay." And it's like, "Where did she go?" It's like, "Oh, she died." It's like, does that mean she's not coming back? It's like, "Yes, honey." And she's like, "Wait,
And Garrett's like,
no." And then she goes, "Wait, what does died mean?" And we're like, "Oh no,
Dude,
she just wanted some family-friendly fun."
and you're like, tell your kid to shut up. He's ruining the movie.
now I'm thinking of the Pixar movies. Coco was really sad as well.
Dude, I
Oh,
remember,
Coco was like,
It's really sad.
I remember seeing The Lion King as
Yeah.
a kid
Yeah.
in a cinema.
Yeah.
And he
Like seeing
died.
adults like crying.
And I remember like 5 minutes after he died,
Yeah.
being like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, they get you. Yeah, Coco was sad.
Coco was depressing.
What's
yeah.
Coco? I don't even know
Coco
this.
is
It's about. It's really beautiful.
It's really good.
It's,
It's
like
about first of all, it's about Mexican Day of the Dead.
yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah. It was done like 3 years ago.
Very good songs, and there's like there's a scene at the end where like I thought I was like I'm gonna be fine. This is a
Yeah.
little sad. I haven't cried yet. You just cried.
Yeah.
And just one thing happens where it just floods
Yeah.
of tears. I'm like I don't
Yeah.
even know what's happening. I'm like I am wearing 3D glasses so nobody can see me cry
Yeah.
right now.
No.
Like, this is
My
this is-
tears are in 3D.
and it's like you and it's like kind of happy tears, but it's only because their technology has gotten
So
far.
good,
You could
yeah.
see like thousands of wrinkles on this
Yeah.
grandma's face
Yeah.
as she smiles. You're just like
Yeah.
it's
Interesting.
incredible.
Is that an animated movie?
It's
It's an
Yeah, it's also
animated.
Pixar,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah.
They do it to you every time.
You should. I mean, you should watch it, but not with the kids. It's
Yeah.
a very depressing movie.
Well, Mahesh just watched Soul and said it was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah?
He said it's
Okay.
really,
I mean,
really
I just
good.
remember Inside Out. It's like I didn't realize that I was coming in to watch a movie about childhood depression.
I've been trying to forget about that.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I do stand up. Okay, so what about New Year's Eve? Because actually, one thing I want to mention because like we always do comics Christmas, which is
Yeah.
like the best.
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh, I hate Christmas in Hong Kong." I love being home with my family for Christmas. Like family
Yeah.
Christmas is great.
He had to say that because his wife listens to the
No. I genuinely
I know.
love going
I
home
know.
for Christmas. And it sucks because like my brothers have kids now, and having kids for Christmas is really cool. I really big fan of that. But when every year we've been here, we would do a big lunch. Like
Yeah.
we'd usually cook.
We'll get together.
And it's been great.
Yeah.
Do you remember there was one we did in Shanghai when it was like Tammy was there?
Oh, yeah.
and
That was, like, 6 years
Ricardo
ago or
made
something.
all this like homemade fettuccine and stuff.
Yeah. We had so many good. We played one at your place in Shanghai in Changglalu. We played a game. I think it wasn't a murder mystery. It was something else. But it took up like half of the day.
Was it
Drew-
Risk?
I think it was Risk. And then Drew got very drunk and he had to go to the service afterwards, to church afterwards.
Oh, I remember him being tanked.
He
He was like
got very-
messaging us. He was in church.
Yeah. He went to church and he just started doing bits because he was supposed to lead the ceremony or whatever. And he just started doing stand-up.
Oh my god.
Speaking of Drew, I hope you guys are signing up for his weird mailing list thing. I'm
Oh,
sure
I'm
it'll be
in.
entertaining.
I did.
I'm sure. Well, I was really weirded out by like, how did Drew get my personal, my professional, and my work email all on this
Yeah.
list? I was like, okay. Every
I was
email account I
amazed-
have is.
To his credit, he asked people to agree to be
Yeah.
on the list. I was like, dude, just add him.
He didn't ask. He asked me on the phone. I didn't give him any written
It's like
consent.
just have. If you have an unsubscribe button, you're fine.
Yeah, right. People can get on. It's also not. He's not a company.
no. And I was
Also,
like,
given how much data he has, I would assume his Chinese son gave him the data.
I love that he just had.
he was adopted with a USB full of emails.
But you know, he lives in like an all-black neighborhood.
Yeah.
And has his Chinese.
I
son.
know, it's great.
Yeah.
Dude, I talked to him the other day in a video call, and there's Abner walks in and goes, "What's up, dog?" I'm like, "What?"
He's been watching Bugs Bunny.
I asked Drew where they get it from. He's like, "I don't know. I don't know who he talks to. I don't know where he got that from." It's amazing.
Dude, his next door neighbor, they stole a petrol tanker and they set up a fake petrol station and their neighbors were just buying. And Drew came in, he's like, "Yo, Drew, you want to fill up your car?"
This is
great.
like a plot to an Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode. Like that actually happened.
Yeah.
I mean, like the friends Christmas thing. It's huge in the expat community because like
because
Hong
the family's
Kong-
not here. We don't have family.
Yeah, family. Hong Kong is a lot of like people are coming through, so you find ways to make friends. Like obviously we have the comedy Christmases. We used to when Dorsha was running Comedy HK, it was always at this like Indian restaurant in Chungking Mansion. The food was fine, but it was weird. Like you'd have to walk the stairs or get through the elevator, and you're like, oh, someone's killing a goat in the stairs.
Yeah.
This is prepping the food.
Lucky it's just a goat.
Yeah, and then we'd always have like gag gift white bear or like white Santa. Usually a fun time. Usually
I've
get
never
pretty
heard
drunk.
of this. You're supposed to buy a bad present or something?
No. I mean, for comedy reasons, you can buy a joke gift. But what you do is, instead of Secret Santa, like you're getting a gift for someone, everybody brings a gift.
Yeah.
And then anyone opens one gift, and the next person, you have a choice. You can open another gift or steal
Oh
that
yeah,
person's
yeah.
gift.
It's like the white elephant.
what
thing.
Yeah, white
happened?
elephant.
The
Yeah,
white-
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's what we did at the Live
know
Nation
about
office.
this?
Oh man,
I refused to go to the Live Nation one, and they made him pick a present for me. And he got like a $5 Starbucks voucher. I got
Yeah.
a $2,000 set of headphones
Oh, and an Apple voucher.
and an Apple voucher.
Which, by the way, I could have kept both for myself and no one would know. And
Dude,
gave
I
it
would
to this
never
idiot.
have known.
You would have never known. Yeah.
By the way, side note, you know how like you keep hearing throughout the year this phrase like, "Oh, COVID is the great equalizer," makes everybody realize like everyone's on like a level playing field now because everybody can't travel, everybody has social distance. That is totally not true at all.
Not at all.
Absolutely not.
100%.
No.
Because I know, like, obviously, people are suffering right now. And I, right before the latest lockdown, got to do a Christmas party for a hedge fund.
Yeah.
Won't name them because they gave me a lot of money. But they just, like, instead of doing a raffle or, some people get gifts, they just gave everyone in the company a $10,000 Apple voucher, which would be like $1 million.
My
Just
God.
as
Yeah.
a Christmas gift. They're like, yeah, you know what? Everybody gets a new iPhone 12. and then some.
All of our friend, someone who runs the consultancy will know
Dude,
about him.
$10,000 you can get a laptop for that much.
Yeah, man.
What's a phone worth these days?
Phone is the newest iPhone, like the basic iPhone 12 is like $7,000.
Wow. So it's basically a brand new iPhone for everyone.
Plus,
Dude, you can get a
other stuff.
laptop for $10,000.
Yeah. I mean, I've never owned an Apple product in my life. That's how broke I am. Never ever had any Apple product.
I didn't get them because I couldn't afford them, and then
Yeah.
I was home one time, and there was this brand new laptop being put in the bin. And
What?
I was like, "What's up with this?" And I opened it up, and the screen had some lines across it, and I was like, "Man, I can."
Yeah,
I've watched worse porn.
I'll squint. So I took it,
Wow.
and my dad was throwing it out because he'd bought it and it was faulty. Anyway, so I
Didn't think of returning it. Didn't think it was like, oh, hey, that doesn't work.
So I go to the Apple store in Shanghai. They're like, "Oh, this model's faulty. They fixed it for free."
Exactly.
He was so pissed off because there are laptops in Shanghai. I'm like, "I'm not sending it back to you." But actually, he ended up getting a free laptop as well because.
Right. Because you stole his laptop.
Well, no, he told them. He's like, "You didn't. You gave me this thing. You didn't fix it. You didn't tell
Right,
me."
yeah.
He had called them.
Yeah.
And they said they recommended buying a new one.
Sure. Yeah.
But I guess everybody's like got their thing here, and it's weird. Like, I don't know if it's weird to other people to hear like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing a Christmas dinner with a bunch of comedians." Like, if that
That's
sounds
the
as weird as
best part.
I know they're the best part, but like I
Yeah.
always hear from different coworkers like, "Oh, what are you doing for Christmas?" Like, "Oh, I'm doing Christmas dinner with my netball team." I'm like, "Netball teams do Christmas dinners? That sounds weird." But like, does
do you wear
Christmas
the,
dinner?
do you wear the bib?
The bibs are the coolest part. That's how you know what letter you. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like-
you do it with your community, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
That's
yeah.
basically our family here. Is that?
Yeah, so
Comedy family.
that some people it's like, oh, with my this, like classical guitar group. I'm like, yeah, classical guitar community.
With Kenneth Kwan.
That yes, Kenneth Kwan.
But yeah, I think also as an expat, because you don't have family here, your friends end up playing somewhat of a family role.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there anything like if things are open aside from like going to like Lang Kwai Fang? Are the fireworks a big deal here?
So fireworks is always New Year's. It's a huge deal. We only have fireworks. We have fireworks 4 times a year. Fireworks is the only thing Chinese people like more than karaoke.
It's funny you guys still have it. You know they don't have it in the mainland really anymore.
They don't.
Well,
No.
they don't have it in Shanghai anymore.
Oh, in
because
Beijing as well. I think it's done.
I think Beijing still has the maybe the
Really?
Chinese New Year one.
So okay, Macau gets nuts because Macau there's one beach where on Chinese New Year. So on Chinese New Year they have their fireworks, but on Chinese New Year on that one beach they just they just let people shoot out their own fireworks.
Oh, cool.
And it goes a
Bro,
little nuts.
back in the day, Shanghai, it was like a war zone.
Yeah.
You would
Oh,
go
man.
to the top of a building and you would look out. I'm talking about Chinese New Year.
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
not whatever the
Regular New Year.
Yeah.
Normal New Year.
the normal people New Year. Anyway, it was because it's the start of the year.
Yeah.
But you would go to the top of a building and you could buy crates of fireworks just anywhere. And
Off the back of a
I've
truck.
watched people just walk out in the middle of a road, just set it in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
We used to live in an apartment building where they would put them on the ground and they would explode like at our windows.
That's so cool.
Like
Obviously very
full
dangerous. but-
massive fireworks.
No, I've seen that. Like also there's
Dude.
like electric wires everywhere.
Well,
and
so
then
you guys know like 90% of all fireworks in the world
Are made in China.
Well, no, made specifically in Shenzhen.
oh yeah.
Really?
It is like 3 factories, and so my dad, who works in Panyu, which is like in between Shenzhen and Guangzhou, and he's like all the factory managers are just friends with every other factory manager because like the Guangzhou like country club or the yacht club or place where you eat dinner, it's all the same. You see the same faces, and it's all people who run these factories. So they have like the hookups with each other, and just on Chinese New Year, the rooftops of all these factories are just like they get free fireworks as Chinese New Year gifts, and they just like fire them from the roofs.
That's so
Just
cool.
don't fire them into the factory.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, the fucking storage where they store the fireworks for New Year's in Dubai just exploded. They have one of the best fireworks shows in the world over the Burj Khalifa. It just exploded
over the
like a week
what?
ago. Of Burj Khalifa.
I
Like
love listening to you say that.
Yeah, that's-
'Cause I'm
that's how
always
it
like-
is.
He's like, it's the Burj Khalifa, man.
So
the storage exploded like a week ago. I would send you the link so you can put it on the
man.
description.
man, who would have thought there'd be an explosion in the Middle East?
It's so it's so good. Like
I bet everyone was so surprised.
everyone's like, oh, it's Tuesday again. All right, I guess.
It's kind of like, you know, I mean, everything they say about like Sydney New Year's, it's like it's epic and also like the most overrated thing to ever happen.
It's also a pain in the ass to get.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
get-
it's kind of like, so in Hong Kong, you know, all the buses and MTRs, they run 24 hours. The only time they ever do it is New Year's, and sometimes after the Rugby Sevens, sometimes after Halloween, depending on how many people come out.
Even the MTR?
The MTR is 24 hours.
Oh wow.
So only on those days. So New Year's, usually everybody goes to the TST Harborside by where the clock tower is, or they go to Causeway Bay or Wan Chai Harborside because they're the best places to see the fireworks. We made the mistake one year of going to Sun Yat-sen Park, which is in like between Sheung and where we are now in Canning Town.
Yeah.
And that area, you're looking at the water, but just too far away to actually see the fireworks. So you just see the fireworks reflect on some buildings. We're like,
Yeah.
crap, we went
I
too
love
far.
the idea that you're like, oh, we've got this, found this
Secret spot.
No one knows
It's
to
like, no.
come here. Oh, that's why.
And then obviously there are all the big New Year's parties. So a few years ago, they started doing, so they have fireworks shoot off the boats in the harbor. And I guess like maybe 8 or 9 years ago, they started shooting them off the larger buildings as well. So you'd get them off the IFC, the ICC.
Oh, that's
so
great.
IFC, the rooftop party, is always very popular.
What is that? Oxygen or something? What's it called?
Well, right now on the roof, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's like the Shake Shack there. Now it's public space, so anyone can go up there. So it gets really crowded. But it used to be
Oh,
owned.
you're talking
Yeah,
about
yeah, it's
IFC.
not really-
Sorry,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking on the Kowloon
Oh,
side.
ICC. Yeah. No,
Yeah, right.
IFC, the roof. So there used to be a bar called Red, and people would just go there and they'd host a party that's usually all you can drink, and you could look up at the IFC, and then at the stroke of midnight, just fires fireworks.
That's awesome.
And those were really cool, except one year, they had, it's obviously open bar. A lot of people have beers. It was a really windy day. So bottles were just like falling off tables, smashing, and bits of glass just flying everywhere. It
God.
was, like on one hand, you're like, yeah, we're drunk. We're like, oh shit, they're flying glass objects.
Oh my god!
Like I had a friend, he had to go to the hospital just because like really small piece, but managed to fly into his shoe and he like stepped on it. So obviously not the best place to
Yeah.
spend New
I mean,
Year's.
this year we have nothing.
This year, I'm not even sure if they're doing fireworks.
I
And
did see
I
that
always
they
love
canceled
how
fireworks.
because last year during the protests, they were just like, you know what, we're punishing you guys by taking away the fireworks.
I mean, this is funny. This is our second New Year's here, and there is nothing for both years now.
Do you know what's interesting is I have a friend who was messaging me the other day, and he was in Shanghai New Year's Eve, the first year that they didn't have fireworks. I don't know if you remember this, but they didn't get the word out that there were no fireworks, and
Oh, so everybody went out.
they did, and there was a stampede.
That's at the Bund, right?
Yeah, and they say 32 people died in the stampede.
Was that the same
to
year?
to watch a fireworks display that didn't happen?
Was that the same year? Like the nightclub threw out all that fake cash that was.
I told you this story, right? So my friend, his family owned that building.
Okay.
Right. So here's what happened, right? So the Bund is up a small flight of stairs and is the waterfront. And that's where everybody would go to watch the fireworks display. To get up this, you got to go from the street, you walk up like a flight of stairs, and then you're there. That's where the stampede happened. Everyone was running to get up there. Now, this nightclub, it was across the street, a huge street, 100 meters down the road. And people were saying, oh, the party had given people fake money like as part of the promo for the
Yeah,
and
yeah,
people were throwing the money off, and that's what caused the stampede.
Yeah.
But actually, that wasn't the case at all. The police hadn't managed the crowd, and they were trying to find another scapegoat. So this guy, they were like, we're screwed. We got to find a way to rescue our bar. And you know what happened? So there used to be homeless people that used to harass all of their customers, and they didn't know how to get rid of them. So they installed all these cameras to try and track who they were and where they were, and give the police enough information that they could, manage it. And they found one of the cameras showed the money falling down, and there was no one around it.
I see.
And so when that got out, the
Yeah.
whole standard
Interesting.
government story was
Yeah.
like, oh, but it shifted to something else. They never
'Cause
mentioned
that's-
it.
I mean,
because initially that's
Have you
what
heard
they
of
said.
Son
It
Yuan?
Have you guys tried going to Lan Kwai on the big, like the Halloween or the Rugby Sevens days? Obviously not this year, but
Halloween,
you know,
yeah.
New Year's Eve last year, the Riff wasn't open yet, but it
Yeah.
was built.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you were hanging
So
there.
20
Were you
of us
there?
went up there and drank on New Year's Eve, and it was awesome.
I think I joined you guys after, because they set up the barriers, right? You have to.
Yeah,
it's one
yeah.
way
Yeah,
walking
and it was
up this
just
way.
it was like a
And
sea of
that's
people.
what it was, because you had that pass, like, oh, we work here, you got to skip the
Yeah,
barriers.
yeah.
Exactly.
So those barriers were created because in the I forgot what year this was. I think the 70s or 80s there was a stampede in Lan Kwai Fong.
Oh, I
Because
remember.
it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
so crowded, and Lan Kwai Fong's on a hill, right? You
Yeah.
have like a few people tripping over, and
Yeah,
it's
then
just-
everyone is fucked. Yeah.
yeah. So
I don't know
that's why
how
they got
women
that
wear
now.
high heels up Lan Kwai.
Yeah, no, it's
Dude, the
it's-
number of times I saw women in high heels stumbling down the hill,
It's-
it's never not funny. I'm like, because it's 100% her fault. She's drunk, it's 4 a.m. Why are you wearing high heels down the hill? If you fall, it's on you. It's hilarious.
That's why they got to build the Lan Kwai Fong escalators as well. That's what they got to do.
I just pulled it out of the SCMP. Hong Kong's facing not so happy New Year with annual fireworks display parade both cancelled.
Oh.
December 4th today.
Well, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna keep it for Chinese New Year, though. You know.
oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, the Chinese New Year fireworks are always way bigger than the.
Oh,
That's
who
fair
knew?
enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like so a lot of families, they do their home thing, dinner home. You watch the fireworks on TV, or if you're lucky enough to have, an apartment with the view, you watch the fireworks at home. Everybody goes to let's go to the harbor and watch the fireworks thing at least once. Usually like when you're a kid or when you're a teenager. And I just remember there was one year, me and a lot of my buddies like Phil and Craig, you guys know them. We're like probably 13 or 14. We're like, oh, let's go to Chip Sa Choi, like watch the fireworks, which were fine. It was super crowded. We got very drunk and we're like, oh, we don't know. We didn't have a plan. We're just like, let's find bars to party at. And then we're like, wait, who's staying where? Like, I don't want to go home drunk. You don't want to go. We all had this thing of like, we're staying at yours, but we didn't know where we were actually staying. And it ended up like all of us sleeping at a park like homeless people.
Bro, New Year's Eve for the first 10 years of me being able to go out was not being able to get a cab and having to walk further than I've ever walked in my whole life.
Oh man, did you wait? Sorry, you've never lived in Sydney, right?
No.
Did you hear what happened? The Sydney New Year's, which would be 2 years ago today, based on when this podcast is being released.
I don't know.
So we were. I was at a wedding, 2-hour drive from Sydney, and the wedding was on New Year's, which actually turned out to be super fun because, like, at the end of a wedding after party, you have a reason to do a countdown. Everyone's drinking and dancing, and we were kind of sad because, like, you always hear that, like, oh, Sydney New Year's is meant to be epic. The Sydney Harbour Bridge, great fireworks, blah blah blah. We got back to Sydney the next day, and there are all these stories in the paper online. It was like worst New Year's ever. Like, first of all, there was a lightning storm that shut off their entire rail system. So like Ubers were like 8x surcharge.
Oh my God.
And then not only that, the best part's like when the fireworks happen, they light up this LED sign on the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Yeah.
And it said Happy 2018 instead of 2019. It's like, dude, you had one job.
That's great.
That's
They
amazing.
put the wrong year up, and like nobody could go home. Plus, like, Sydney has. I didn't know this until I went last time. They've got the worst drinking laws in the world right now. Their lockout laws
Sydney was bad.
are so stupid. Yeah, no,
yeah, it's a Sydney thing, I think.
because apparently they
What
had
is it?
like
Yeah.
So a few years ago they had a 2 fights on the same New Year's night where people died, and because of that, especially around the holidays, they go crazy with their lockout laws. So like all bars have to close at least like
You can't get
latest
in
at
after-
1:30.
you can't get
Can't
in
get in
after-
after 11.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There are weird drink rules like you can't buy shots unless the people are at the bar. Like Cassie's sitting at a table, and I'm like, let me go, and I got 2 shots. Like, no, you have to do the shots at the bar with the amount of people doing the shots. I'm like,
You can't have more than one shot?
Well, no, you can have them yourself, but you can't buy shots for other people unless they're present. It was super weird.
Why is
And then-
that? Like, what's the
I have
logic
no-
even?
I have no idea. And like things like, I'm a whiskey drinker. I'm like, can I have a whiskey on the rocks? Like, oh, you can't have straight liquor. It has to be mixed with something. I'm like, what?
Yeah, mixed
It's like-
with
It's like, yeah,
rocks.
we can give. Yeah, I was like, we can give you a whiskey soda or a whiskey Coke. I'm like, can I get whiskey water? And she's like, yes. I'm like, but like really little water.
Like, it's mixed with my misery.
No, it was wild. And the only place that allows you to drink past that time is the casinos. So just everybody
what
goes
they
to the
say.
casinos now.
They say it's a scam,
Ah,
so
so
the
it's
casinos get all the
conspiracy.
Yeah,
business.
I'm sure
It's
it
the only
is.
place
I'm
that
sure
people
it
can
is.
go. Hey,
Wow.
well, Garron, thanks for coming out today. This has been really awesome. I hope you have an
The
awesome...
stories are random all over the place. I think it's really fun.
No, it's Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
we're going
Yeah,
for. Have an awesome New Year's. And
Happy New Year, everybody.